Subscribe to James and Sheriff Dixon, you motherfucker.
This is Movie Reviews with James and Eric, episode 4, the last one of the year. I got Eric back on. Say hello.
What's up, man? This is ready to get into some random ones. You said you have a whole list of stuff you want to talk about on your phone. I can't wait.
So, I guess we can start with just talking about it. It's another Santa Claus episode.
God, well, I can't believe they did it. They made. I don't understand. They really made it. You've been watching the Santa Claus or whatever Santa Claus is. What's it called?
The Santa Claus is, yes.
Okay, so the premise is Santa Claus needs to find a new Santa Claus. Is that right?
He wants to retire, and there's a whole bunch
of
how
it works.
No, that's the whole point of the show. Is they're all like, Santa's never done this. He's either died he felt like when he fell off the roof and replaced, or he just hasn't retired. And then like I said, there's a whole bunch of crazy storylines. Carol, his wife from the second one, is having a midlife crisis because she doesn't want to be known as Mrs. Claus. She wants to be known as not just the wife of Santa.
Okay.
So the wife's going through that. They also have kids now.
How old are the kids? 15, 16, high school age. So, do they ever do a thing where they don't believe in Santa, but they live in the North Pole?
No,
that just seems like an easy bit.
No, the kids grew up helping the elves and all that, make toys and stuff like that.
This is so goofy.
And then I kept messaged you. There is the new Santa Claus is pretty much an evil Jeff Bezos.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's pretty much what you expect. Is it? So we guess that okay, there's gonna be one where they're gonna have all the magical people or magical creatures in it. Yes. And you just said that they did that episode.
Yes, where they had actual Saint Nicholas in it. They had Krampus in it. They had the past Santa Clauses in it. Yeah.
How did the Krampus look? Was he scary?
Oh, it was the original movie that came out a few years ago. Yeah, it was just like that one.
Oh my god!
And Tim Allen just walks through a door and he just sees Krampus and he just talks to him casual.
Oh, it's just yo, what's up, Krampus?
Yeah,
that's so funny. That's so funny. What? They put all right, whatever. They put Krampus in the show. Okay, sure. Okay, whatever. Oh my god! But you said that's the one Bernard comes back for?
Yes, the one that just aired this past week. Yes.
That's so funny. Is it worth it?
I mean, I thought that was the best episode because he was in it. His actor.
Okay. That's funny. David Krumholtz is in... He's just a character actor in so much stuff, and it's so funny. He just came back. He's Bernard again, and it's damn, really?
Okay. Yeah. Why was he gone? Why was he gone from the second and third one and only in the first?
Right? Yeah. Wild. But, okay. How does it feel, I guess? The show itself. Would you recommend it?
It feels like if you're a fan of it, now that you know that there are fans of it, it feels like the first one and the second one, mixed together, because the third one was just crazy.
Wow, that's so funny. So, how many episodes are they doing?
I don't know. Right now, they're up to 5, and they release them weekly.
Okay. I bet they do 8. I bet it's an 8-episode thing.
So, yeah, try to wrap it. I think they're going to try to wrap it up by Christmas, yeah.
Right. That makes sense. You definitely don't want it to go past
Christmas. A week, let's say it's, past New Year's and they're still doing it, yeah.
That would be very funny. Okay, all right, so we got Santa Clauses. We got that figured out. We got that one sorted. What else is on... Oh, my God. What else is on your list?
The Walking Dead ended, finally.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, Walking Dead ended, but they're doing,
3
spin-offs for all the characters, right?
Yeah, 3 different ones. One is the main characters, Rick and Michonne. Daryl has his own, and then Maggie and Negan. Pretty much all the main characters have their own show.
Wow. This is all right. I mean, do you feel like it was a fitting end for that show and you're fine with doing spin-offs? Or are you just kind of going oh, this took too long. Why are we doing more of this?
No, I thought it was okay, personally, the finale. Being a fan since 2010. I was
Mhm.
14 when it came out and 26 now, and it just
Jeez.
ended.
Wow. Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how did you like the ending?
They wrapped up for the ones that don't have shows coming out. They wrapped up the story for a lot of the like main characters that kept reappearing throughout the series.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you feel like it was like a good way to end? You know, it's the way TV shows are. It's hard
yeah.
to wrap something up, but like,
Especially
do
one
you
for a
think
show
that,
that's been on
yeah,
for so long. Yeah.
yeah, right? Like, you think they did a good job of it, or you think it was just kind of like, eh?
No, I liked it. I thought that was perfect. Good end. They did like a whole live thing event out of it. Like, yeah, I thought it was good.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. Um, how are you feeling about the spin-offs?
My favorite one I think is gonna be the Rick and Michonne one because his actor left in the main character Andrew Lincoln left in season 9, and he didn't show up at all because he wanted to be with his family. So after like
Okay.
10 years of doing the show, and his family never came to America, only he did. So he's only seen them through
Oh,
the
wow.
holidays. That's why he left,
Okay.
which was understandable.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then yeah, they're filming his show in England so that we can be there with his family. So that's why he's coming back to finish his character story. So I
Oh,
think
that's really interesting. Have they announced how many like seasons or whatever they're doing, or are they just like, no, this is a spin-off, like there's no like real details?
they're so far they've only said there's gonna be at least one season, like 6 or 7 episodes to see how it goes, and they'll go from there.
Wow. That's really interesting. That's I wasn't I guess like I don't know a lot of people who are still watching.
Yeah, a lot of people stopped like season 5 or like
Yeah,
season 4.
like
Yeah,
really fell off. But I mean, I guess it's still got legs if they're doing this and continuing with spin-offs. Like it's not like it's just them. There's a bunch of stuff still going on for Walking because they have like Fear of the Walking Dead and stuff, right?
yeah, that's not really good at all. Like the last season,
Oh, really?
it's really dropped off in acting wise. Like they don't care about their acting in that show at all anymore.
Wow.
Like it's
That's
so
really-
monotone.
That's funny. Is it? It's it. Are you worried about the other spin-offs
No,
kind of
no,
running like
because
that or no?
no, not the other ones because the other ones like have some of the same writers from the main show. Not like the spin-off they want to do completely on their own with different writers and everything.
Oh, that's really interesting. Do you know when they start?
All the new shows start some point next year around the summertime. They already got the Maggie and Negan one done, filmed, and they're editing it right now to come out in like April or something like that.
Damn, that's really fast. Okay, I mean, like, I don't know. Walking Dead to me is like, I just don't.
I was gonna ask you. I remember you said you don't like body stuff, horror stuff. Was zombies count as that to you?
I didn't really have a problem with zombies. I just got over it really fast. It was, I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I was just like, I don't really.
Because they were
like
stuck
this.
on that. Yeah.
It just sort of went like, okay, we're in this camp, and now we have to leave this camp to go to like the next camp.
That's
Oh,
how it
okay.
was. That's
Now
how it
this
was.
camp. Now something happened with this camp, and now we have to leave. And we have to go to the next camp, and you just sort of like
Recycle.
swap characters around, and it makes sense. Like I think it's a good formula for a show. It's just not something that was like grabbing me, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They did that for like 5 seasons until they got to their main camp now.
Yeah, right. Like, and it's just like I just don't. You know, I think I think it's a very character based show. It's cool for that kind of thing. It's just not my speed, I suppose.
Yeah.
It just not my kind of thing. I like something that's a little. Yeah, the pacing's kind of weird, and it really jumps around a lot. And I don't know. Just not.
I understand
just
it.
not for me, but
I understand it's not for everybody because like I said, a lot of my family stopped watching it too.
yeah. I mean, I wonder if like because Daryl's getting his own show, right?
Yes, in France.
I wonder if that's going to be. That's interesting to me because I like him as like a character,
Yeah.
like that actor, and I wonder if it'll be something where they'll be able to kind of like lean on him to like really carry this,
Yeah,
or if they're going to
yeah.
turn it into like an ensemble thing because they really like that ensemble thing for Walking Dead. Like, that's what it was.
And in the show, the main show, he really wasn't like leaned on for like character wise. He was always like the left or right hand man in the main show.
That's a good way of putting it. That's definitely a good way of putting it. And like seeing him maybe take something over.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
And apparently, Robert Kirkman said for the comics as well that France is apparently the origin of the Walker virus in that show.
What? Hang on, wait. Say that one more time.
Robert Kirkman, the creator of the show, said that France was supposedly the origin for the Walker virus in the show.
I didn't know that. I wasn't aware that Kirkman had said that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Oh, taking place there is like very cool. Then that's very interesting. I wonder what that'll be then.
Yeah.
I wonder that to me is way more interesting with that character doing that stuff. That's way more interesting to me than
what they were doing originally. Yeah.
Yeah, than just like surviving. Now there's like something to do. I think that's really cool. I think that's super interesting.
Plus he's trying to find Andrew Lincoln's character Rick. That's what the finale set up, is him going to trying to find Rick. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I had no idea. Well, it sounds like Walking Dead is still going to be going strong forever. I guess.
Like they said.
We'll just wait and see what happens next. But man, that is so much. That's crazy.
So, I got another thing on here.
Okay.
I watched that new interview with the Vampire Show everyone was talking about.
Oh, dude. Okay. So, is that any good?
I mean, I read the books and I watched the original movie with
Right.
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
I liked it. I personally liked it.
Okay. It's AMC, right?
AMC, yep.
Okay, so like what's the twist on it then? Like what is the point of what is the show about?
Like there isn't any really twist other than like changing the races up and like making them like physically gay characters towards each other. Other than that, that's pretty much that. And it's set in like the 1900s instead of like the 18 or 1700s. And it goes in today's timeline.
Oh, so it's like a more modern sort of take on it?
Yeah, it's in our timeline, but he's telling more of his story from like the 19 and 1800s, yeah.
Oh. Okay. How is it, I guess?
Like I personally like the acting. The guy who's doing the interviewing, like asking the Louis the questions, he is really good. Like if you're thinking something, he'll like say it on screen. Like
that's good.
He's like the cut the bullshit kind of like actor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so is it sort of like beginning and it's sort of like I guess like does it kind of like start and end with like the interview segments and like the in between is like them showing all the stuff that they're talking about?
Yes, it starts with like him starting the interview questions, then it goes into the backstory, and then it cuts back to towards the end of the episode. Yeah, them talking again. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Is it done? Was it just one season?
No, they ended it. If you haven't seen it, spoilers. With the setting the stat on fire like they did in the movie.
Oh my god!
They ended it right at the like at the halfway point, and like they did in the movie instead of keep.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So what are they gonna do? Is there more show?
Yeah, they're going past the movie. The writers and directors said, yeah.
When is that?
They don't. They don't know. It just ended with the part one in the very last episode. They didn't say when the second part was going to come out yet.
Okay. Does it feel like an AMC show? Does it feel like a little more elevated or like?
Oh, it doesn't feel like it belongs on AMC now. Like more like a sci-fi, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. How weird. Lot of blood in the show, like a lot of vampire killing people stuff, or what?
It's not really like violent. It's more like storytelling. If that makes sense, like the way it was in the movie, it was more storytelling than violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
Huh. And then so it ends. Okay, they light him on fire, and then where does it like?
It ends with that. It ends with
any idea like where it goes next?
ends with Louis and Claudia wanting to go to Europe to find other vampires, like where the movie showed us that were them actually doing it, and ended there with them wanting to do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I guess that's something. I mean, for a movie like Interview with a Vampire was it was a really big movie when it came out, and it's weird that there was like never a sequel. There was never any follow up, and it's
Until now, yeah.
Yeah, right. It doesn't it feel because that was what
1970 something.
1994.
I think
Maybe 1994.
I'm gonna look it up. I think it was the 70s it came out.
It was like an
yeah, 1994. Yeah,
I mean, just about mid 90s. Like
yeah, 1994.
Wow.
And then it was surprised me every time I look this up. It surprises me that Tom Cruise plays the Stat and Brad Pitt plays Louis in that movie. It always surprises me. I don't see their faces when I watch that movie.
It's very strange. And I remember Tom Cruise. I think it was Tom Cruise playing piano.
Yes.
Yeah, it's him. He's like behind a sheet, and he looks all gross.
Yeah, it's on fire. Yeah,
like it goes away, and you just see him like all like
messed up. Yeah,
falling apart.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing that I remember the most because it's a vampire movie, and he looks like a zombie.
Just talking to that, and then which was even crazier is Hayden Christensen plays him in the next movie, The Queen of the Damned.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was with was that like Aaliyah?
Who played the Queen?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the cast.
Damned movie. That was like early 2000s, wasn't it? And like
that's Aaliyah. Yeah.
Loosely based on the Vampire Chronicles, but like okay, I do remember that, and it's weird. I wonder if it's a thing where the rights were coming due.
Yes.
For someone, and like they just went, well, we got to do this if we're going to keep the rights to this thing. But I don't know. Very weird. Just to do that now is very interesting. Interview with the Vampire just doesn't seem like a property that is
like renewed or whatever.
Like red hot.
Yeah.
And so like, why are we especially now? Like, why are we doing?
I bet you it's a
Why
villain.
are we doing vampires now? Like, it seems kind of like played out, doesn't it?
I think they did werewolf. Well, they did a werewolf for a number of years instead of vampires.
Yeah,
I know on TV. Now I think they're just getting into like the vampire realm because I think there's only one or two TV shows that Vampire Diaries, and that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that was it in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. It's well, good. I mean, good for them for making something that people want to watch off a property that like no one was clamoring for. Interesting. I don't know. Okay. All right. Interview with the Vampire. Good to know.
I got a couple of bad movies I wanted to talk about. Because,
yeah, please do.
Okay. So, I'm approaching my 200th coming this February, which is 5 years of just watching bad movies once a week, weekly.
Awesome.
And the craziest one I've seen, like I said on my message today, I watched this movie called Roar. Have you ever heard of this one?
Roar?
R-O-A-R, Roar. It's just called Roar.
No.
It's about a family. This blows Tiger King out of the wild because it's about a family that thinks they can live with a group of wild pride lions, and they live with 150.
Wait, is this from like the 70s or the 80s?
Yes.
With Tippi Hedren, right?
Yes, and his family.
Yeah. Doesn't somebody get like mauled or like
70 people? 70 people.
Yeah, it's like the most. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I do remember. I had to look up Roar. Because I remember there was a movie that came out like a few years ago.
That was a documentary.
But it was Roar. Okay, so it does say the film has been described as the most dangerous film ever made and the most expensive home movie ever made.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I haven't finished it yet. I'm like in the hour mark in it, and each time I see a scene with them with the lines, I'm like, I'm gonna see something I wish I didn't see, aren't I? Knowing what I know behind the scenes, like that's like when the actors get attacked, that's like actual blood on their faces and like arms and stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy that they just went and did this, and it really was the only time that they would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
really crazy. And it's Melanie Griffith's mom, right? Tippi Hedren is Melanie Griffith. That's her mom, which is crazy for something.
And apparently
that came out
she divorced him,
so
and apparently she divorced him like shortly after that movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why? Like, could you imagine how like fucked up you'd be over? Yeah, we're gonna film like this Tigers movie, and they're just gonna like, yeah, you
She'll
might
go in there, provoke them, and we'll film.
Yeah, God, it's so.
I was watching it, and the main dude just walks into a house full of lionesses, and I'm like.
Yep.
Fuck that! Those are the ones. Those are the ones that do the hunting.
yeah, dude, that's a crazy watch. If you've never seen any of that, that's like nuts. That's, oh man, I remember learning about that a long time ago and just going like, oh, that's one that I never have to like. You watch a trailer and you watch clips, and I just go, not for me. Never gonna watch that one.
That's why I was like saying like I stopped at the hour mark because I had my cousin's party to go to today, and I'm like, I'm gonna see eventually. I'm gonna see something towards the end that's like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, that's gonna fuck me up.
Yep, absolutely. Oh my god, it's so crazy. It's just, whew, man, nuts. Well, what else? What other bad movies have you watched?
I've seen I've got my list right here. I'm gonna go through. I've seen that Santa with Muscles movie I was telling you about with Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah. He's got the he's looking all buff with like the cut off like the sleeveless Santa suit thing. Yeah.
And he's helping an orphanage in this movie that has an underground tunnel with diamonds in it.
Santa with Muscles, just so everyone knows, is it's a Hulk Hogan movie. Clint Howard's in it, and it has 2.5 stars on IMDb. 2.5 stars. Mila Kunis is in it?
Yeah, she's one of the orphans in it. Yeah.
Oh, how weird! That's so funny.
He makes the weirdest. Makes the weirdest faces in it too. I couldn't help but quoting his roles whenever he's chasing after someone.
Oh
like,
how goofy. Did you feel like it really put you in the Christmas mood, though?
Oh, yeah, that was the first one I watched, too. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is, yeah.
That's so funny. How crazy.
Yeah, I got, watched that one, and then, trying to see what else. Those are really the only two crazy ones I watched. Again, the war, though, was after, like I said, the other one... The Velocipaster. This is my craziest one. I think I'm gonna do for her review.
Velocipaster. I think its Kickstarter just wrapped up
for a second one.
As of this recording, Velocipaster 2. It's the dinosaur priest from your favorite meme is back, and he's going to Italy. And I think they got their funding.
Yes. I see him on Instagram all the time. Like, I'm following the actor because I loved it so much. Yeah.
So crazy. But, man, I guess they're going to do it. He's going to go to Italy. The Velocipaster will make it happen.
And then,
crazy.
Did you see the new trailer for The Last of Us? Or?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's right on time to... fill in that gap between when The Walking Dead comes back on. Perfect shows a zombie filler. Because PlayStation...
It looks good.
Yeah, the PlayStation game is still to date my favorite game that I've ever played for PlayStation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely I feel that. This show looks like it's going to be really good, right?
Yeah, it's got the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, and I've never seen him personally like in anything bad.
Yeah, he doesn't really miss, which is very cool. It makes me wonder if they're going to, depending on how this does, if at the end they're going to announce DLC, some other game thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a third game or something. Yeah.
It just seems like not like the time to like release something, but the time to announce something.
Yeah.
To go like, hey,
they're working on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is you can watch this in between while we're doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It just seems like it's gonna be. Man, it looks good. I'm not a. I don't think it needs to be made into a show because it is something that
it could be a movie. Yeah, it could be a movie. You're right.
I just think that the pacing and the story is so perfectly set for a video game that I don't think that it needs to be a movie.
Yeah.
I think that it has. I think it has what it needs where it is right now, and I'm really happy with it. And it doesn't need more, but with the pieces that they have and the people that they have, I don't mind them doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. I'll for sure. I mean, it's on HBO Max or whatever, right? So I'll definitely check it out.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you ever look up Avenue 5, that Hugh Lowry space show?
Oh no, I remember. I think you told me about it, but I haven't. I didn't watch any of it. It's on HBO Max, also, right?
Yes, they just wrapped up their second season.
Oh, that's good. How was it?
I thought it was as good as the first, which is
cool.
When I think something's as good as the first, I think it's rare for something to stay that continuous.
I feel like that doesn't happen very often for a lot of, especially like a lot of like these streaming shows. Feels like they have an idea for that first one, and then it's sort of like
goes up down. Yeah.
Yeah. You just go like, oh, we got to do. It's a band that has 12 years to write its first album, and then 6 months to write its follow-up album. It's just sort of how a lot of like these streaming shows feel. So if you're telling me that it's just as good as the first season, that's pretty cool.
And then it has a couple.
What they're doing.
It has a couple of the actors from The Office on it, and it has a couple of the House actors on it. So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good for them. Wrapping up another one. I wonder if they'll do a third.
No, that's already confirmed that they're working on a third, and the director's like, he's not in no rush. He said if all the actors are working on something different, he'll wait till they're done to come back to this, and yeah.
Oh, very cool. Well, that's great. That's awesome.
I got one more thing. I watched The Thing for Halloween this year for the first time ever.
Oh, the original one?
Yeah, from the 50s, yeah. Or the 80s, or the 80s.
What'd you think?
I loved it. The scene where they were drawing blood together is probably my favorite scene.
Pretty good, right?
Yes.
Well, did you feel like it holds up pretty well?
Oh yeah. I thought it was like Among Us the movie, pretty much.
Oh, that's funny. That's a funny way to put it. That is pretty much what it is, right?
Yes.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that it was based on like a novel.
Oh yeah.
Or like a book from the like the 30s.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either. Huh.
Yeah, I had no idea. I only found out about that recently talking to someone. I was talking to someone about how they made, they made I think it was called A Thing from Another Planet, A Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
Like the original, and then The Thing, and then they made another one in like 20.
Yeah, that's the one.
Like that.
That's the prequel one. That was yeah.
Yeah, and just talking about like why would they do that?
But a lot of people said,
why would you make that one in particular? And then they were talking about. It's weird how a book from the 30s got so much mileage, and I went, the book from what? I had no idea. I had no idea that it was based on a book. That's so crazy.
And apparently the prequel is really good too.
I heard that it is like almost beat for beat the same movie as the one from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is very strange to do. It's like, we'll just remake it. And they're like, well, it's like not
really a remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like setting up the story.
Okay. He's like, oh, all right, but it is like a remake, and they're like, yeah, it's like a remake. It's just like, well, what about the team that was there before? And you're like, oh, I guess beat for beat, the same things happened to them. And you're like, yeah, the same
but you could kind of guess. Yeah,
them.
but you kind of guess from watching the movie that the same thing that happened to them at the end. Yeah, it's what happened.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's so goofy. It's so funny.
It
is cool that like it made so much. Like sci-fi lore around it for so long. It's so interesting that something like that can really stick around like in the zeitgeist without you really knowing like where it came from or whatever. It's just like, yeah, this like a 1950s movie based on a 1930s book. Crazy.
And then this is the last thing I have on my thing.
Okay.
And Rick and Morty's wrapping up its sixth season tonight.
Oh my god. Wow. I didn't realize it's been on for 6 seasons.
Yeah, because they have like 2 years in between where they do all the animation and story stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
How's that been?
Dan Harmon's particular with his stories.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. How have you been liking it?
Well, it's like every episode's been really good. They got their like the way the characters describe it, they got their like season 2/3 vibes back in the season.
Oh really?
Yeah, how good it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that at least makes me want to check it out. That's
Season 3 was my favorite of the show with the
yeah
continuing the Rick story. Yeah.
yeah. Like that. I like that season 2 where it just really kind of goes in directions, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like it's just something fun where it's just going in like not in circles, but just kind of like going left and right and all these different ways. It was like a lot of fun. I just had a good time with that kind of thing.
Okay. Is there anything you've been watching really, or?
No, I haven't been watching. I've been working a lot. I haven't been watching a lot. I watched the Batman that
we talked about.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it a lot.
Doesn't need to be 3 hours though.
Dude, it is so long, like, and does not need to be. The last half hour isn't very good. If it's a 2.5 hour movie, it's still too long, but at least it's better.
Yes.
For a 3 hour movie, it really drags. You can either do the dad storyline or you can do the flooding storyline. You cannot do both. You cannot do both, and boy, they just do both. It's like Dark Knight, where you just go, oh yeah, like this other part, like the whole part with like the boats and everything from like Dark Knight is so, like, for a great movie, you forget that part.
Yeah.
All the flooding, because I just watched it recently and I was talking to people about it. I'm like, yeah, and then like the flooding, just like that part was like ridiculous, and every single person I talked to went, I fucking forgot about that. They flooded the whole city. And I went, yeah, I don't really understand why they did that. Like, I don't know what the point of that was.
just for him to be a villain.
Yep. And it was that. I also thought the Joker thing where he's like
shoehorned in.
Yeah, that was like such like a studio thing, and I think that sucked.
See, I know they didn't show his face because they didn't have like the exact actor for like the time. They just showed the audio or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. And it was like, oh, this sucks, and I don't like it. But like that's all I really watched recently.
Oh, I watched Bullet Train as my most recent.
Oh, how did you like it? It seems like a fun movie that isn't going to be asking too much of you. It seems like
it's a turn your brain off.
Like,
it's your
7 out of 10.
It's your turn your kind of brain off movie. You're right,
yeah.
And it has very interesting filmmaking. So interesting that I have not seen in a long time.
Yeah,
it's like mixed with like Chinese and American, like a bunch of different filmmaking aspects.
Interesting.
And Brad Pitt.
It definitely looks like a movie that's made by a stunt team like John Wick.
Yeah.
It does a thing that I call baby's first screenplay, where everyone has a clever little name and all the dialogue is a little quippy, and everyone's just a little too clever.
And they have a quirk. And they all have a quirk.
Yes, but like not much beyond that. That's just kind of it, and you go, okay, that's all. And so you do that, and it's made by a stunt team, so you let everyone do stunts.
Yeah,
and then that's all. Good for them.
I was gonna say,
way to go.
Brad Pitt's great in it.
Oh, I'm sure, because he gets to be like a goofy character in a hat. When he gets to be a goofy character in a hat, he's really good.
You're not wrong. I didn't think about that. He was just a goofy character in a hat in that entire movie.
When he doesn't have to be the leading man, when he can be a fun character, or like he's a great character actor. He's just too handsome to be a character actor. But yeah, that's all I really watched recently.
That's why he got that one role in that second Deadpool movie, right? As like a joke, because Ryan Reynolds is like, he was like too handsome. Let's throw him for like 3 seconds and just get paid for like $15,000 for that 3 seconds.
Very funny. That's good for him, dude. I think he rules.
All right, I think we went over everything.
Right on, man. Well, that was a good time. That was a lot of fun.
All right, so is there anything you want to, like, last promotion, say anything?
Hey, go back and listen to old episodes of this podcast. Check it out. Go listen to old stuff that we've talked about and stuff that I'm not on. Go listen to old episodes of this show.
Yep.
Right. I just want to shout out an amazing channel. James the Sheriff Dixon, oh, he's such a great guy, and he is super cool for coming to the show. I'm glad I got to meet him in person, and you should subscribe.